Ogbodo joins us now. He's the editor of The Guardian on Sunday to continue our focus on this matter. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Interestingly, for these kind of matters, different scenarios emerge on a regular basis, the latest being this one. And you saw that group, and they say, look, from their study, this is not about religion. So they may use that as a facade, but they attack even Muslims who come in their way of what they're doing. But in all of this, interestingly, the parents only interested in one thing, getting their girls back safely. What strikes you in all of this?
Well, it's a very difficult situation for the nation, actually. And what I can say is, whatever the federal government is doing, this is the time to really coordinate and then play down on every other thing and make sure that whatever the parents are asking for, something is given back to them. The information is not even flowing. It reminds me of when the Malaysian aircraft was missing. You know, the Prime Minister of Australia, because the search was around that area, even far away in Malaysia, almost on an hourly basis, somebody else was talking to the people, the relatives of those that came from China. They were always being addressed. Then in Australia, the Prime Minister himself, Tony Abbott, will be the one addressing the press, talking that these are efforts so far, these are results, where we are on the search. But here in Nigeria, we don't even get to see anything. Only yesterday, the police commissioner in Abuja saying that there shouldn't be any form of demonstration connected to this bring back our girls. It's not too good. People should be allowed to express their emotions freely because these are very difficult times. We are parents. I have a girl child. So I can't just imagine that that beautiful girl of mine will be somewhere for more than a month and I don't have any information about her. Nothing is being said. So anyhow, even if it is to assuage them psychologically, allow them to express their emotions to full measure. That's what I would say.
Do you think there's some sort of frustration on the part of those who are supposed to be coordinating and disseminating this information? Because it was only recently that the Minister of Information, they talk about do the analysis of those who are behind all of those protests, and shocking to a number of people who thought, oh, wait a minute, I thought we were supposed to give information about the activities or efforts aimed at rescuing the girls, but then he speaks about those who are behind the rallies. So in terms of information, the Joint Information Force, that committee actually, that is not enough, is it?
Definitely, it's not the way to go. Because if you look at it, it has followed a regular pattern of the Nigerian society. Once anything is coming from one side against the other side, it is being sponsored. Nothing happens spontaneously or naturally in our situations. And so it's convenient for government to take that position that those behind maybe they have been infiltrated by opposition party and all of that. This thing is spontaneous. Every parent will just find a way to identify it. Even as they do, some of us, we might not be on the street, but we identify. And there is no other way to do it. They cannot take up arms and move into that so-called forest to rescue the girls. The military authorities, they are saying that this thing is complex, that they need all that for the operation, because if they storm, it might result in something more catastrophic. So what do? Do we just wait and bottle up our emotions, anger, waiting for them to bring the girls? And so it's just okay. They should allow people to talk. And on the part of government, I think they should be more coordinated. If they are passing out information, like General Obasanjo was saying, that if you are saying anything that will not help the cause, it's better you keep quiet. Not anything that will make it more complicated. If you are saying something that at least will lead somewhere in the effort, fine, it will be welcome. But if you're just saying things just because you want to say them and want to score a point, this is not the time to go that way.
Well, like yesterday, I think one of the stories that broke has to do with the Australian negotiator, and that was when people realized that the young girls have been taken outside the country. But looking at the front page stories here, this away from the Guardian, that's the Tribune. Presidency disowns Australian Boko Haram negotiator. It brings to focus what you just said about being coordinated when it comes to giving out information. Now, we have an information center headed by Ms. O'Mary.
Yes.
How would you rate that body so far? That because some still say that there's a lack of information still from that information center by Ms. O'Mary.
Yeah, this is what I said earlier. You know, they are actually not rolling with the time. That committee, as a matter of fact, I think over the weekend or so, not sometime last week, they visited Chibok. And then that to me is good. It's a good starting point. They had interactive sections with parents and other stakeholders, which is good. But it's not enough. They must be talking. And talking in a coordinated manner that everything they say should actually align with our own anticipation that someday these girls will be recovered alive. But if they are not doing that, and then if their talking is coming far in between and it's not good enough, these are really trying times for everybody in Nigeria, for parents, for ordinary people, for children. Because even the children, too, in their own age bracket, they are alarmed. They don't know. My daughter once asked me if she will be safe in her school. And, I try every means possible to convince her that, yes, she will be safe. And she reminded me that there was a forest, an evil forest in Ogbodo, where it was discovered people were kidnapped, killed, and all of that. Mm. But you just have to be explaining. At that level, I was talking.
And so that's work for everybody, because beyond the Chibok girls, it would seem that we also have a psychological problem on our hands in terms of children generally being afraid to go to school and wondering what next. What steps should we be taking to ensure that our children are not afraid to go to school?
In fact, that is where we are now. To actually, for the authorities, the police, and the joint security committee involved in all of this, for them to come with a set of codes, things that people can take home, and then you tell your wards how to react in certain situations. But we don't even get that information. It's only now that I can see some snipers or that kind of information coming through, people saying that, okay, if you are in a place and somebody is asking you to come around, that you should resist.